Namaste, Angels. This is the weekly reading for the 12th through the 18th. It's going to be a beautiful week based on what I saw when I was shuffling and what I have here now. Let's hope we maintain that energy. Well, I expect we will, and get it going. We're starting with the dice with cocktail. Forget it. Weekend away. Maybe that's this weekend. Maybe that's next weekend. I'm not sure. And I'm on top, which I think could have some sexual connotations for some people. Just got that vibe. I also heard just now that song with 50 Cent in the Game, Hate It or Love It, the underdog's on top. So maybe somebody who had felt like downtrodden, things weren't going your way, or maybe truly the underdog, like in a race or some sort of competition or something, you find yourself on top, winning, leading, or like that kind of started from the bottom, now we're here kind of vibe, success in something this week. But yeah, it could have sexual connotations too, as in more like genuine. Ride it. If you get my drift. Just in case there's people under the age of 18, I won't be any more explicit than that. But yeah, Spirit says sex. I knew I felt it. Oh my goodness. And did you see how all of a sudden I have in here some white sage and some frankincense. But do you see how it started burning so like vigorously all of a sudden? It was not burning this much. I'm going to have to like open a window or something. It's 50-50. So again, that could also have sexual connotations with the sex and what I was feeling, what I was, hearing and whatnot, like going half on a baby. 50-50, but also 50-50 is about give and take, or again, it could be like, oh, something go either way. I'll take it or leave it. It's not that serious. A few different ways. Also can be about balance, of course. Your choice. So not yours, the other person's. And cocktail. I don't know if I should put this out or if this is what Spirit wants. Very, very last minute, I was guided to get up and go get this candle. It was in another room. I have like a blue and white room in my house. This was in there. And to light that. So I'm not really, I can't really say exactly why we went with it. So with the cards, we're starting with the Four of Wands. And yeah, behind it we have we have the Five of Cups. So this could be like you were, not doing so well, spilled milk, something lost, disappointment, and now, like again, you started as the underdog or at the bottom, and now you're here. And disappointment and hurt, maybe loss behind you. And this is success this week. Also, we have Soulmate with the Twin Flame Oracle. Compatibility, companionship, your best life partner. And that could also be obviously what this is about. Perhaps it is somebody from your past who previously disappointed you. And, now they're going to be for real. Now they're going to make you happy, bring you joy. And or maybe there's been separation. 5 days, 5 months, 5 years even is what I'm getting with that. Then, oh boy, with the Angel and Animal Tarot, we got the Ace of Cups here that we're starting with. This is the beginning of a new emotional experience for you. It may be the first blush of romantic love, the rebirth of a current relationship, or the awakening of spiritual gifts and insights. And behind that, we have the Six of Cups. So this could definitely be about a soulmate, and or somebody from your past, potentially too, an ex even. The loving care of children could become an important part of you, of your life rather. Or people from your childhood may return to it. Old memories can be healed, or possibly old childhood dreams are ready to be revived. This could also have something to do, yes, with children. I was just talking about going half on a baby. It could be about a birth of a baby or notice of a pregnancy, especially with, again, the Four of Wands. This is about a card about joy. It could be about a bundle of joy. And maybe before there was, previous disappointment. There was loss even. But that's behind you, and now there is success in this pregnancy. Or there will be success in this pregnancy for those who are just learning that they're pregnant now. Behind these cards, also upright, is ego or the devil. You may feel that you're trapped in your situation, but that's not true. Be careful not to overly focus on material wealth and break free of negative thinking. And this is behind the Six of Cups, which is behind the Ace of Cups. For somebody, your soulmate could be married, or you could be married, or otherwise, you know, tied down somehow, or feeling tied down. Maybe with finances too. You could feel restricted by finances. But these other cards would be telling you to proceed anyway. And as does the devil. I mean, the devil shows up to say, you know, you could be feeling this way, but it's not true. Like it's a prison of your own, you know, thinking, your own mind, basically. It says right here, break free of negative thinking. That's what's going to free you. Alternatively, this could be about Capricorn and or Saturn, which is in retrograde in Aquarius right now. The planet Saturn. Also upright behind the devil is the Page of Cups now. So we had the Ace of Cups, the Six of Cups, then the devil creeped in, and now the Page of Cups. So if anything, I think there may have been a soulmate with whom there was some toxicity and or loss or separation again. So there's fear attached to it, or one or both are like married or again restricted by something, or feel that they are restricted by something. We can always get out of stuff, even in marriage. Page of Cups, intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase, and also their heightened psychic abilities come with this card. Both the Page of Cups could actually be an actual person in your life, a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. The next card is the High Priestess, also upright. This is a time to pause and to reflect, not to take action. So you may need to think about something. Like once you get this offer, you may need to, you know, sleep on it, as they say, or figure out what your next move should be, especially if you're who's feeling trapped. Or maybe if you have to help somebody who's feeling trapped, the other person's feeling trapped, it's their choice. Remember, your choice. I can tell you what I think you should do, but it's up to you. Do it or not, you know. Basically. But the High Priestess, this is a time to pause and to reflect, not to take action. Trust in your spiritual gifts, as nothing is hidden from your divine intuition. High Priestess represents the sign of Gemini, or in traditional tarot, can also represent the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, especially Pisces and Scorpio. I mean, and Cancer, rather. And then speaking of those water signs, again, the next card is finally in reverse. It is the King of Cups. The true meaning of the King of Cups is somebody who will go all out for what they want, whether it's in relationship, a job, well, actually for work. The King of Cups in reverse could also be about somebody who has some sort of emotional outburst at the office, which nobody needs to see that. But in other areas, it's usually about pursuit, what he wants. So in general and in love, going after something, he's going to do whatever it takes to get it. But again, that was in reverse. We won't talk any further about that one. Let's get to shuffling these. So 10 of Swords, like I said, there could have been some previous toxicity or heartbreak. Magician, though, so that would help you to move beyond that. 10s are also about endings. 10 of Swords often shows up to tell you that, you know, something has come to an end, a job, a relationship, some other situation, and you should look toward the future. You should look toward and look forward to the Ace of Swords showing up. You know, that's the next energy, the next card. We got a new overall energy of the illustration of that 10 of Swords, but it says everything is fine. So again, if you're feeling 10 of Swords like it's in your mind, you may be paranoid about money. Like I was getting that before, that somebody could feel restricted by money or something. We've got the Page of Pentacles here, so there's a financial offer or something coming in too, or some sort of aid or help for you in the area of finance and or the material. Again, here we started with Soulmate. Next card is in reverse. It is split energy. Hoping to rise above. Union, which is about reconciliation, eternal love. Your time has come. And free will. Remember, it's up to you. Your choice. Choices, decisions, contact, inaction, action. It can't be forced, right? Whatever you're going to do, it can't be forced. It's your choice. Inner child, playful, happy, enjoy the present moment and live life to the fullest. I mean, just like go for it. Stop trying to control everything. That leads to stagnation, delusion. Instead, release the need to control situations. And twin flames is behind that in reverse. Now these, we looked at High Priestess, Page of Cups, Six of Cups, Ace of Cups. Devil. Let's throw the King of Cups in there too. Last week, I forgot to talk about Saint Barnabas, the apostle. I left him out when I went over the stuff at the end after the cards. You know, for the people that like to stick around to see what else is going on. So maybe I'll do him this week quickly, because we have feast days the 11th, 12th, 13th, and the 16th. So maybe I'll just mention them all then. Of course, the 13th is my birthday, as many of you know. 16th is Tupac's birthday, as many of you know. Many people around the world know. We were born in the same place, 3 days apart. Page of Cups, overall energy again. Or he's back on top, I should say. Page of Cups, intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. Again, can be about some sort of offer that's coming into you that will be pleasing to you, make you happy, bring you joy, make you smile. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase. And you will also have heightened psychic abilities with this Page of Cups energy. Could be representative maybe of the moon, the full moon that we have. That could bring you increased psychic abilities, perhaps. It is a super moon, the strawberry moon, that's occurring this week. All right, this week, card most directly representing us, Five of Pentacles in reverse. No longer feeling left on the cold, or like somebody's feeding us breadcrumbs. Again, we got another 5 too. It's about change and could be representative of the amount of time you've been experiencing whatever it is you've been experiencing, whether it has to do with money or relationship. Again, 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months is what I felt right away. Surrounding energy, close friends, family members, co-workers, hanged man, upright. Work and finance, Four of Swords in reverse. She looks like she has the potential to fall on her sword, as they say, or swords. Come on. There we go. Love and relationship. Worry, Nine of Swords. Because somebody's holding on to something. And again, like I said, somebody's feeling trapped, stuck, holding on to something, afraid to get out of it. Marriage, some other situation like that. Even if it's not marriage in terms of like married to another person, they're married to something, you know, that they're holding on tightly to, whether it's their job or whatever, and that's causing an issue. Physical health, Eight of Cups, and spiritual health. Page of Swords in reverse. Again, we have an overall energy of, you may feel like it's the Ten of Swords, but really everything is fine. All right, so the Five of Pentacles in reverse is really a card that says that we are just ready to move on from feeling like we're lacking something, feeling again like, you know, people have just been sort of giving us little pieces, throwing us crumbs, doing us a favor, going out of their way and not really, or us feeling insecure, with ourselves. I'm noticing now, like it didn't click before, but this is actually a progression though, because we got this Four of Pentacles here clarifying the love placement, but our overall energy for the week is the Five of Pentacles all being in reverse. So what is that saying? We are ready. We are ready to stop feeling insecure. We are ready to not need to hold on to something tightly like a security blanket. So even though we may be still going through, maybe at the beginning of the week, some of these, anxieties and being afraid to move or move on or to let go of something or someone that's, blocking us from our abundance, overall, we are ready to do that. It's like when I'm ready to lose weight, right? Or I'm ready to look for a job, or I'm ready to, sometimes it still takes a second to get started. When I say a second, that could be whatever. It takes you a moment to get started. Okay, I'm ready to do this. Then you got to actually take the next step, right? So if you're going to look for a job, you got to get out your resume, make sure it's up to date or whatever. Here goes this smoke again. I don't know what the hell's happening. It was starting to die down. I thought it was going to go out, and it's going crazy again. Whatever. So that's what the Five of Pentacles says. Also in the recent past, we may have actually felt sort of left out in the cold, as though everybody in the world, everybody around us, or in our world at least, had it going on, had it made, and it was just, and they're passing us by, and we're just the only ones that can't seem to, find success or happiness or whatever. So our confidence, if it hasn't already, should be beginning to sort of grow now and renew, and we should be feeling better. We might not know why. We also might not know why, all of a sudden we feel better, but we should be feeling better. Maybe because it's getting warmer. Sometimes that can, because I know the winter can be depressing, for a lot of people. I don't like when it gets dark early and all that kind of stuff. Even I find it oh Lord, but the summer, it's late. It's sunny out until 8:30, 9, so maybe that's what's making us feel better and we don't even realize it, but it's happening, and that's a good thing. All right, moving on to the surrounding energy, we have the Hangman, and this can be a card about being at a crossroad and perhaps needing to let go of something or someone, needing to figure out what we're going to do. It's a yes or no answer. We can't do both. The 50-50 could go either way. Take it or leave it. Not both at the same time. Yes or no. Open or closed. It's those sort of very clear decisions. You may have to make one of those. In or out, coming or going. It may have something to do with this love situation. Am I in or am I out? Am I leaving? Am I staying? I'm ready to leave, but it's difficult. Where do I start? Could be the same thing about work. So the whole time since I started shuffling, I was feeling something about finances or something about relationships. So that's probably what the deal is this week. For some people, it's your focus is the finances. What you've been dealing with is related to finances, and for the other people, yours is love and relationship. Venus, planet of love, goddess of love, located in Taurus still. I think she doesn't leave and enter Gemini until next week. So, that's a good placement for her, though. But there's been so much going on, right? It was Mercury retrograde, and like I said, Saturn retrograde has started. Even though Saturn retrograde, I think will be okay for most people. But there has been a lot going on, so maybe that's what it is. And we have our next major moon phase upon us too. In any case, so this letting go of something with the Hangman could have something to do with somebody in your surrounding energy. So whether they need to let go of something, could even be an outdated belief system or idea. Maybe you guys aren't on the same page and you're ready to move on from it because, they're still stuck on this outdated belief system. Or again, it could be about this person is representative of, your mate or love interest or whatever. And do I keep putting energy into this? Yes or no? Or it's about, your career, your what you thought at one point was your life purpose. And maybe you're feeling like it's probably kind of not now. I'm not really feeling like it's my life purpose right now. I'm feeling kind of stressed out at work or about work, lack of work, or whatever the case may be. So do I keep on this path or not? Yes or no? Those are the questions this week. So then using that as a segue into work, Four of Swords in reverse says with regard to work that you could probably use a break right now. So like if you have vacation days or, or vacation day even, like an opportunity to perhaps take off or some time, even like an extended lunch hour. Maybe on a particular day something is going on and you need to take a little longer to like clear your head. And what you're clearing your head about could be something that had been bothering you about like your job or your work all along. Like something never seemed right or felt right, or someone never seemed right or felt right. You could find yourself becoming clearer about that thing or person this week, and even like deciding after you understand it a little better or get the idea of as to why process is done this way or this person behaves this way or whatever it is, then all of a sudden you might find yourself like supporting it. Like, oh, okay, this makes sense. It's the way to go. For those who are looking for work, it could also be important to take like at least a few hours in your, day in the midst of this to stop and rethink about the type of work you're looking to do. Are you looking in the right place with the right people? Because the card is suggesting that we may need to change our tactics, whether we're already employed and something's going on in our office or whatever our place of work is, or we're not employed and we're looking. In either case, something's not exactly right. With regard to finances specifically that may or may not have anything to do with work, we could probably benefit from putting money aside, like out of our mind, taking a break from thinking about money also. Even if that's just a few hours, because anxiety and worry could be interfering with, number one, your ability to think rationally, right? And carefully about what you may need to do, if you've got to make some kind of plan or see a plan through, or, create a budget or whatever it is, or decide what bills to pay, what bills not to pay, whatever your situation is. And sometimes if you step away from something, then come back to it, look at it again, you're like, oh, okay, I know what to do now. So it could be like that. Or number two, it could be getting in the way of your ability to manifest. So one is could be blocking your 3D ability, right? To, make sense of your budget and your checkbook, your account. And then in the 5D sense could also be blocking your ability to manifest money. If you're just in a place of, like worry and panic and distress, that is counterintuitive to manifestation. So again, looking at the love placement, though, the 9 of Swords is what we started with an overall energy of the 10 of Swords. Although everything is fine, we don't feel like it's fine. So this could be related to work. For some people, it's money and love. Maybe you feel like you can't have love because you don't have money, or because you are married or in some sort of situation or in a relationship. You're like, how am I supposed to do this? How do I take care of both of these things? I guess pay alimony and live my life. Or, how do I afford to move out and leave this person behind, even though I'm not happy? Like what? And so that goes to finances too, and overthinking and potentially blocking your manifestation. Because as I talked about last week, the universe wanted us to take some step on our own, and it was going to meet us halfway and do like the rest. So if you are bold enough, brave enough to take the leap, then it will support you, was the idea. On its own, however, this 9 of Swords is telling us that if we're in a relationship, something about this relationship is bothering us. Or we don't trust something, we don't feel comfortable. You should not ignore your gut feelings on this. If you feel that something in your relationship is unhealthy, remember I talked about the toxicity. I said somebody's possibly dealing with a toxic relationship because the devil just all of a sudden popped up there behind the 6 of Cups. It could be that. If you feel like something in your relationship is unhealthy, you're probably right. If you suspect that something's going on behind your back, maybe cheating or whatever, lies, maybe something about money, your husband or your wife or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, maybe they got fired, they didn't tell you, or they got a raise and they didn't tell you, and they're putting money aside, or whatever, something's going on behind your back, something sneaky, you're probably right. Your best bet is probably to ask your partner about it. So to not be when I say ask, I mean ask. I don't mean tell them. I don't mean be accusatory and go after them, especially if you want to maintain the relationship, but you should ask. Alternatively, if you're not in a relationship, if you've recently met someone, don't go out of your way to believe everything is as it seems, or don't get too carried away with this person or how things seem to be going, because it's likely that everything is not as it seems, and that's normal, okay? Because trust takes time to develop, so no need to try to rush it into I just met this person, I believe everything they say, or I believe everything I'm feeling, or I believe everything is as it looks. No, let's take it slow, I guess, kind of. Moving on to the Eight of Cups, physical health. It fits right in with what we got here for the Four of Swords, for work and finance, what we got here for love and relationship with the Nine of Swords, and what we got here with the overall energy of the Ten of Swords, although everything is fine. The Eight of Cups with regard to physical health says that stress may be getting to you and causing you health problems. So I think last week I went over a whole list of health problems that stress causes, from headaches to hormonal, issues, and your body overproducing different hormones and things like that, which leads to other stuff. So our heart, the common sense ones, right, and the commonly known ones, heart attack, stroke, not worth it. So again, if you're dealing with something at work, if there's an opportunity for you to take some sort of break, whether it's just a few hours, or it is actually going on vacation or whatever, please do. With relationships, if you need to be getting out of a relationship or letting something go, letting an aspect of a relationship go, changing a mindset about something, figure out how you can get started on actually doing that. Because you're not meant to stay stuck in that position anymore. And it's not good for you, to be just anxious like this and paranoid. And moving on to spiritual health, perhaps because you're feeling all, paranoid, you may look to somebody who claims to be a spiritualist, a bit of a guru, should I say. And you may actually meet somebody like that who just either gives you the impression that they're really a guru, or they've set themselves up, to appear this way. And they actually don't really know what the fuck they're talking about. That's what the card means. Or, they talk a big game, and a great deal more than what they actually know is what the card is showing up to tell you. So, just be, careful, cautious. What's the word? When you, again, paying attention to your gut and stuff. I can't think of the word that I'm looking for. Is right on the tip of my tongue, but it won't come out. But you have to, discernment. Yes, use discernment. That's the word. Take what this person has to say. What if something resonates with you, certainly accept it and feel comfortable leaving what doesn't behind. That's okay. And just be, aware. Be aware and beware, I guess, of toxic spiritual advisors. So ego-filled or driven spiritual advisors. That could also perhaps be what the devil was showing up about. I'm also feeling for some that devil was showing up with the Ace of Cups and the Six of Cups like that after we saw Soulmate and all those other wonderful cards, because maybe you were in not only, I mentioned, separation, maybe not only were you in separation, you were in separation because somebody was messing with your energy, or was messing with your, you know, mate's energy, or both of you. And that's what has caused the problem. Did I say inner child can have something to do with an actual child? Again, maybe pregnancy. If I didn't, I'm getting that. Hang on a sec. I needed a sec to decide what I wanted to do. Okay, I'm going to put some of these down, I think. I've been laying them down upright lately. I'm just pulling them one by one, but I don't know. I'm just guided to do it like this today. And I'm finding it interesting that they're all angel cards, you know, because there's 2 full decks together here. Only the one card in the center is going to be from the Animal Tarot. Isn't that interesting? The next card was another angel card. So we have those. And then let's also take some of these. Crowning the masculine this week, we have the King of Wands. So very nice, motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. And this could definitely be his energy, you know, as the masculine. The King of Wands is the quintessential divine masculine of the tarot. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Take advice from someone creative. So you're guided to, you know, to step out front and take like control of the situation, not in an egomaniacal way, but, you know, as in leading. You're being inspirational to other people, motivational, right? People feel safe with you. You're supportive. May actually be a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, or could be showing up because of the Sagittarius full moon, which occurs this week again. On Tuesday. For some people on Monday. It depends where you are in the world. We paired with that, we have split energy. So it could be particularly a masculine who's not really sure which way to go. Yes or no, up or down, left or right, coming or going. His energy could be what's split. Options, right? You're unfocused, you're multitasking, you're juggling, but you need to decide what you really want. So is it, you know, to stay stuck like the 4 of Pentacles and upset, you know, like the 9 of Swords that was paired with it? Or is it to finally feel, you know, secure and ready to go out and about and after what you want in the world? 5 of Pentacles reversed. Surrounding the masculine, we have the 3 of Swords. So some sort of pain, loss, separation, again, disappointment, hurt, sadness, great sadness, in fact. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. And we do have that paired with something called destruction, tower moment, unexpected change, new opportunities, which, you know, ultimately, even with a tower, when we get to move on, like when the dust settles, as they say, things will be better. So it does lead to new opportunities, but something is falling apart here. And that it may even be a relationship that you don't want to be in anymore. Like I said, somebody's married, maybe they want to leave. It's still sad. You know, even if you don't want to be in a relationship anymore and you want to leave, or, you know, you're at a job, you've been at that same job for 20, 30 years, 10 years even, and, you know, you want to move on to something else, but you put so much energy into it. So there's still sadness attached to that. So that can be what that is too. Masculine subconscious. So this is just like in the back of your mind. Page of Swords. It could be a need to or desire to communicate with somebody, or to have somebody communicate with you. Or maybe you're thinking about an air sign, a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, or maybe both. You may be specifically a Scorpio. Why? Because transformation and the King of Wands. King of Wands represents the signs, the fire signs that I mentioned, but also potentially Scorpio, as Scorpio is in part ruled by Mars. And we do have Mars currently located in Aries, which it rules. And we have this transformation card, breakthrough, reinvention. You're ready for the next level. So this sounds very 5 of Pentacles in reverse also. And this can be what the Page of Swords is about. You're just ready to go out and check things out. And maybe you're doing like research or looking into information, and or there's a need and the desire to communicate with somebody, or to have them communicate with you. The Page of Swords is logical, honest, impulsive, and curious, challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. You could be ready for a moment of honesty too. That can be what the transformation is. Transforming from this person maybe that wasn't very forthright and forthcoming, that caused hurt before, to somebody who's ready to, be in their truth, be honest about what it is they want and how they feel and things like that. Feminine, crowning the feminine, we have the Ten of Pentacles. Very nice. We have Rise Above. So this is, again, perhaps hate it or love it. The underdog's on top. Maybe you, again, coming into promotion, some sort of abundance, and you were just above it all. It's above me now. No, you're above it now. You're above drama. You're above obstacles. You're above pettiness. And because you're finding the strength to rise. And that's leading to abundance here. Very happy family life, financial security, finding magic in the little things in life. There could be like some, maybe a lottery win. It doesn't have to be necessarily a jackpot, although we'd all love a jackpot. It could even be like a scratch off, $50, $100, whatever it is. Or Vegas or Atlantic City, those type of things, casino. And or inheritance. Something could be coming to you this week. From somebody that passed away, I'm getting. With the Rise Above, I'm getting like heaven vibes. So they may have left you this. Surrounding energy for the feminine. Ace of Pentacles. Boom. With Soulmate. Hello. Soulmate may particularly be an earth sign. Compatibility, companionship, and your best life partner. The Ace of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles together. Whether this is actually about love, or maybe a business soulmate, or a friend. Again, you're just surrounded by abundance. That's really what matters. That's really what's important. Feminine. This sounds like a very nice week. And mirroring the masculine's, again, desire to communicate, we have the Eight of Wands. So we could be receiving communication. And it'd be a good time because we're feeling very alone, it seems. Abandoned, lonely, lost. The divine is with you. Again, that may be because somebody passed away. That person who passed away, we have it mirroring this King of Wands, maybe specifically a fire sign. Fire sign male. Doesn't have to be, of course, but I'm just getting that. Abandoned, lonely, lost, but the divine is with you. And, you are being supported, it seems. Again, Ace of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, Eight of Wands. So things are happening. Eight of Wands, if it doesn't mean communication, although again, it's mirroring the masculine's card, so there could be communication. Even from the person that passed away, you say, how could I get communication? Maybe dreams, maybe signs. You find change. You find that maybe some actual money. That maybe that's what the Ten of Pentacles is about. You find, $20, not just a quarter or something like that. Feathers and things. Sometimes they leave us messages. They leave us signs that we're not alone. All right. But we also have that fire energy, mirroring that fire energy. So again, I'm just feeling that this person, particularly if you're feeling alone because they passed on, was a fire sign. Maybe they were a soulmate of yours, but they've left you something. Crowning. The King of Cups. Very nice. And we have him crossing the soulmate card too. Trustworthy, compassionate, respected, and cultured. Open your heart and mind to those around you. Trustworthy and heartfelt advice, and charity work. Which charity work is unconditional love, if you ask me, because it's giving of yourself without wanting something back. This readiness for the soulmate energy to come in and for this abundance to come in is as a result of your healing, self-care. Time out. Be gentle with yourself and your twin. So if you're not feeling quite there yet, then these are ways you can get there with self-care. The root or foundation, justice, right? Because it's time. It's time for justice to come around. It's time for you to get your just due. And for, you've, like I said, been giving, paying, working. It's time for something to come back to you. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. So, you need to behave properly too, doing what's right also. That's how karma works. So even if you're leaving the karmic, in terms of karmic partner, you're doing it because that's what's just for you. And that's what's right for you and for them. Because if anytime we're with somebody that we don't belong with, they're with somebody they don't belong with also. We forget that, but that's the case. Conventional relationship, duty bound by societal conventions or norms, right? Major Arcana card, Justice, represents the planet Venus, again, which is currently located in Taurus, which she rules, but she also rules the sign of Libra, which the card Justice represents. At the heart of the matter, we have the Empress. More Venus, more abundance, more possible pregnancy, as I was talking about, sexual energy, attraction, growth, expansion, creativity, co-creation, making things, growing things, building things. It's time to leap into action. Use your natural creativity to bring forth prosperity and success in your life. And that's partnered with travel. And I'm seeing it in terms of, it could be literal for some people, obviously, but I'm seeing it in terms of growth, expansion, moving, growing. Like I'm moving further and further and further and further. It's, it's growing. Move up. Look, I didn't even realize it said that, but it says it here. Movement. Meeting, adventure, be ready for new experiences. So just like the Empress is about new experiences and I guess, again, new wonderful things happening to us, you got that travel card. Beautiful, beautiful energy this week. Even though the masculine got this 3 of Swords, dealing with something, maybe time again to move on from something. Let this go. Let the fact that this happened go. And, allow yourself to be transformed and to move forward and to, again, be honest, and be, ready and strong enough also to receive truth. Be a leader. Set the example. Set the example. Got split energy? Maybe do some self-care so you can get yourself balanced emotionally and logically, like the King of Cups, balanced energy. In touch with his masculine side, in touch with his feminine side, cool with all of it. And then after you're feeling like that, then you make a decision, right? When your energy is no longer split. That's what I have for you with the cards. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. I do appreciate it. If you'd like to stick around, I'm going to go over what else is going on this week with those who do. So I'm getting my laptop here. Oh, the fire finally went out. I couldn't tell. I wouldn't have known if I didn't just look over there just now because it is so smoky in here. I feel it like in my throat and stuff. All right, I'm signing on. There we go. So, St. Barnabas, which is actually today, Saturday, is when I'm recording this reading. His feast day is June 11th, which is today. Barnabas, a Jew of Cyprus, comes as close as anyone outside of the 12 to being a full-fledged apostle. He was closely associated with St. Paul. He introduced Paul to Peter and the other apostles. And he served as a kind of mediator between the former persecutor and the still suspicious Jewish Christians. When a Christian community developed at Antioch, Barnabas was sent as the official representative of the Church of Jerusalem in order to incorporate them into the fold. He and Paul instructed in Antioch for a year, after which they took relief contributions to Jerusalem. Later, Paul and Barnabas, now clearly seen as charismatic leaders, what does it say right there? Charismatic. Be a leader. Charismatic leaders. So this is you, masculine. This is your week to be. Maybe this is why I was guided to read about Barnabas, even though he was last week. I left him out of last week. You're guided to, again, take the lead here. My thing just moved. Okay. Later, Paul and Barnabas, now clearly seen as charismatic leaders, were sent to Antioch officials to preach to the Gentiles. Enormous success crowned their efforts. After a miracle at Lystra, the people wanted to offer sacrifice to them as gods, Barnabas being Zeus and Paul Hermes. But the two said, quote, "We are of the same nature as you, human beings. We proclaim to you good news that you should turn from these idols to the living God, end quote. And you can see Acts 14, 8 through 18 if you want to read that yourself. But all was not peaceful. They were expelled from one town. They had to go to Jerusalem to clear up the ever-recurring controversy about circumcision. And even the best of friends can have differences. When Paul wanted to revisit the places they had evangelized, Barnabas wanted to take along his cousin John Mark, author of the gospel. But Paul insisted that since Mark had deserted them once, he was not fit to take along now. The disagreement that followed was so sharp that Barnabas and Paul separated, Barnabas taking Mark to Cyprus and Paul taking Silas to Syria. And maybe that's something that happened. Maybe this Three of Swords and destruction is about, some, again, separation that occurred, whether it was with a romantic partner or even a friend, family member. And now this week is about reconciliation. That may be. Later they were reconciled, Paul, Barnabas, and Mark. When Paul stood up to Peter for not eating with Gentiles for fear of his Jewish friends, we learn that, quote, even Barnabas was carried away by their hypocrisy, end quote. See Galatians 2, 1 through 13. Barnabas is spoken of simply as one who dedicated his life to the Lord. He was a man, quote, filled with the Holy Spirit and faith. Thereby large numbers were added to the Lord, end quote, meaning he converted a lot of people or brought a lot of followers to Jesus. Even when he and Paul were expelled from Antioch in Pisidia, modern-day Turkey, they were, quote, filled with joy and the Holy Spirit, end quote. St. Barnabas is the patron saint of Cyprus. And now for what else is going on. So that was the 11th. And on Sunday, the first day for which this reading actually is, this week's reading, is the Feast of the Holy Trinity. So for that, I went to where? It looks like I went to www.britannica, as in the encyclopedia, britannica.com. Feast of the Holy Trinity, also known as Trinity Sunday. It's a Christian feast in honor of the Trinity celebrated in Western liturgical churches on the Sunday following the Pentecost, which is the 50th day after Easter. So that was last week. It's known as the feast that was celebrated on this day from as early as the 10th century. Celebration of the feast gradually spread in the churches of Northern Europe, and in the year 1334, which equals 11, and again, today's 11. Pope John the 22nd, so 2 11s, approved it for the entire church. In the church year, Anglican and Lutheran churches date the Sundays that follow this feast after Trinity. The Roman liturgy dates these Sundays after Pentecost. In Eastern Orthodoxy, the first day of the 3-day Pentecost feast is known as Trinity Sunday. So it's celebrated on different days from different churches, but this week we celebrated. And of course, the Holy Trinity, if there's anybody who's unfamiliar with what the Trinity is, it is the recognition in Christian doctrine of God as three beings in one. I like how we have this three here at the heart of the matter this week with the Empress, God or goddess, right? I always start with her or mother. But in Christian churches, they recognize the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit or Holy Ghost as three persons in one, what they call Godhead. That's what the Trinity is about. So moving on, the 13th is the Feast of St. Anthony, for one thing. On June 13th, but of course it is also the feast of Our Lady of Fatima. Every month from May through October, on the 13th, we celebrate the feast of Our Lady of Fatima. And June 13th is actually the largest of those, because that is the one where the children returned and were followed by their townspeople, so that everyone else could see Mary also, to see, if the kids were lying or not. So June 13th is this huge feast day of Our Lady of Fatima. Well, we're not going to talk about her again because I've explained what Our Lady of Fatima is all about. So we're going to move on to the 16th, although on this channel we also recognize the goddess Isis on the 13th. I'm probably going to do a separate Isis reading. So move on to the 16th, which again is the feast day of the body and blood of Christ, otherwise known as Corpus Christi. And for this, I went to www.wikipedia.org. The Feast of Corpus Christi, or the Solemnity of the Most Holy Body and Blood of Christ, is a Roman Catholic, Anglican, and Western Orthodox liturgical solemnity celebrating the real presence of the body and blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus Christ in the elements of the Eucharist. That's the bread and the wine. 2 months earlier, the institution of the Eucharist at the Last Supper is observed on Maundy Thursday in a somber atmosphere, or Holy Thursday, it's also known as, leading to Good Friday, which is, of course, the day that Jesus was put to death. The liturgy on that day also commemorates Christ's washing of the disciples' feet. Yes, if you go to church on Good Friday, you can have your feet washed. I mention this every year because he washed the disciples' feet. The institution of the priesthood and the agony in the Garden of Gethsemane. The Feast of Corpus Christi was proposed by Thomas Aquinas, doctor of the Church, to Pope Urban IV in order to create a feast focused solely on the Holy Eucharist, emphasizing the joy of the Eucharist becoming or being the body and blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus Christ. Having recognized in the year 1264 or 13 the authenticity of the Eucharist miracle at Bolsena on input of Aquinas, the pontiff, then leaving in Orvieto, established the Feast of Corpus Christi as a solemnity and extended it to the whole Roman Catholic Church. The feast is liturgically celebrated on the Thursday after Trinity Sunday, or, quote, where the solemnity of the most holy body and blood of Christ is not a holy day of obligation. It is assigned to the Sunday after the most holy Trinity as its proper day, end quote. So again, it occurs this Thursday, the 16th, which would have been Tupac Shakur's 51st birthday. There's nothing on the Hebrew or Muslim calendar that we're going to talk about this week. So moving on to the planetary calendar, we do have, again, June 13th at 11:27 a.m. I always emphasize how all these things are on the same day. It's not it's not an accident. It's a coincidence, and there are no coincidences. June 13th at 11:27 a.m. or 9/11 or 9/11 backwards, or 11 in total. Mercury enters Gemini at 0 degrees. So for more on that, I went to www.tarot.com. Mercury in Gemini, curious, social, quick-witted. And the transit lasts from June 13th through July 4th, which is Independence Day in the United States. Mercury, the planet of intellect and communication, has two home signs, Gemini and Virgo. When this planet sets up camp in Gemini, a cosmic door is swung open, helping us to become more clear-headed, objective, and mentally flexible. This is a time when we're encouraged to take in a huge breath of fresh Gemini air and to let curiosity teach our minds how to be young again. Mercury is all about facts and ideas and ways to communicate that information, and Gemini is an air sign associated with cool detachment and reason. Because of this, Mercury's time in Gemini becomes the ultimate channel for information to flow through. When this powerful duo gets together, thoughts rush through us at warp speed. If it feels like you're being pulled into a dozen different directions, or that you're a little more distracted than usual, there's a good chance that Mercury is in Gemini. The combination of Mercury and Gemini means we will probably be thinking in tangents, never able to follow through with a single thought for too long. Imagine a bee buzzing around inside a jar. That's what our minds are like during this transit. Mercury and Gemini are both into facts and data. That's why I talk the way I do, or I remember stuff the way I do, and I have random dates and trivial stuff that belongs on Jeopardy in my head, because I'm a Gemini sun, a Mercury in Gemini, Venus in Gemini. I mean, I could go on. Anyway, open subjects like philosophy, the meaning of life, and the big picture concerns become less important to us when Mercury moves through this sign. Because of this, talk may become more easily had for us, all of us, even though the truth could be hard to find, because we have to tell it, right? We have to be brave enough to give it. If you were hoping Mercury and Gemini might give you the ideas needed to write that original novel or to come up with the next big innovation, don't set your hopes too high. Follow through is not Mercury and Gemini's strong suit. It's more likely that one idea will flow into another, which will flow into another. And it's best to keep your voice recorder on hand and revisit these flashes of brilliance later. That is very true. I can be honest about that too. The rest is about Mercury in Gemini, or if, like me, you were born with, Mercury retrograde in Gemini, which we already had experienced. Or if you are like me and were born with Mercury in Gemini in your natal chart, there's something about that. And if you'd like to read about those, again, I got it from www.tarot.com. Otherwise, I think we may be done. The following day, June 14th, for most of us, will be the full moon in Sagittarius. Although, again, some people may see it, or at least be able to see it, beginning on the night of the 13th. Yeah, and that's it. The next thing is June 20th, which is next week's reading, but I will go ahead and mention it because June 20th at 11:11 p.m., we will experience the last quarter moon, 29 degrees Pisces. So let me break that down a little bit. June 6, 2011. So on 6/11 at 11:11 at 11 degrees, basically, we'll experience the, I left out the rest of the date. I just said 6 for June. So it's the 20th. Yeah, 6/11/6. 6/11/6 is the date. At 11:11, we'll have this last quarter moon at 29 or 11 degrees. So the 3 11s make up another 6. So it's kind of like 3 6s or 18 or 9. You could consider it another 369 day, and a really great day maybe to do some manifestation. And on that note, I will bid you adieu with this reading. I appreciate you coming to watch it and to be here with me as things went on. And I hope you'll come back again next time. Thank you. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. I do appreciate it. Namaste.